Yo YouTube! This is the video for today, and it is Wednesday the 20th of March. It won't be very long because I've not done that much today. So yesterday I left my video with a plan, and my plan did change slightly after I recorded that video. So I'd done a pickup at about 5:30 from Ulverston, LA12 postcode, and then my plan was to drive down to Rill to pick up in the morning my second pickup. Rill is an LL18 postcode, and I got to Rill at about 8:20 roughly, and I took a chance and I thought I would see if I could get my stuff loaded that night, and luckily I was able to do that, and also I didn't feel too tired. So I then made my way towards my last pickup, which was Abergavenny, NP7 postcode, and I expected the route would take me through Wales from north to south. But as it was, I ended up going sort of across the North Wales, down the A5, back into England, Shrewsbury, then down to sort of Ludlow, and I ended up on the A49 heading towards Hereford, but didn't go all the way that way. And I basically did that until I got too tired, and that was about 11:30. I began to feel tired at 11:30. I had stopped to get some food on the way down, so that was a bit of a delay. The journey in total would have taken 3 hours, just over 3 hours. So I took it steadily and stopped for some food, and ended up stopping at just before midnight in a lay-by just behind some trees off the road, and I got tramped there for the night, about an hour away from my pickup in Abergavenny. So at the end of this video I shall give you stats that cover both the last 2 days, and I'll average them out because that's a better way of doing it, because just to be clear, I did 2/3 of one job yesterday, and then today I finished it off. So, oh yeah, the other thing I was going to say is I decided to make use of my natural sort of body clock, I suppose, for want of a better word. I tend to be more alert at night than in the morning. So I was thinking, as I picked up from Rill, I thought, well, it seems like a waste of my energy now, just stopping, when I'll find it hard to get up in the morning. So I thought I'll just keep driving into the night. It was quite easy drive, it was quite quiet, and I didn't feel too tired. Whereas if I had done that this morning, I'd have had to get up quite early, I'd have felt a bit groggy, I'd forced myself to get up as soon as I want to get up, and it would have been a bit less pleasant. So I sort of chose to go with stretching yesterday out, so that could make today easier. And then I thought, well, I don't really mind what time I wake up in the morning, I've got plenty of leeway, we'll see what happens. So this morning, last night I slept pretty well. It was warm enough and it was quiet enough, and I woke up with a bit of traffic noise in the background, and when I looked at the clock, when I eventually opened my eyes, my watch, sorry, not watch, my phone, I looked at my phone, it was about 9:30. So I got myself ready and then made my way towards Abergavenny, and I arrived at that site at about 11:10 in the morning, and got my load loaded up. And then my plan was to look for work between where I was and sort of heading towards Wycombe, because I had space in my van for sort of one pallet would fit, or a small box, or a big box even. a single box, a few boxes. So I have got the option to sort of co-load, but there wasn't really much available in the right direction for me. So I just made my way to High Wycombe. Straight there. I think as I arrived, I filled it with fuel. So I was running low on fuel as I arrived. Did that before I offloaded, and then I got offloaded everything from the last three pickups, and I was sort of used the toilet and filled up with fuel by 10 to 3. So just to sort of bring that job, as it were, to a close, it's for the number of miles. Oh, I don't know how many miles it was. I'm going to have to guess, I think. So it's something like roughly from LA 12 to HP 12, it's probably about 320 miles, maybe 360 miles maybe. And I got £460, 460 for that job. And then I was just looking for whether there was any suitable work to go back home, and wasn't expecting there to be anything. And so I sort of headed north. The A1M was had a big delay on it going north, or at least the sat-nav said there was. I couldn't see it at first, so I was sort of on the road. So I took a sort of complicated route up alongside the A1M and didn't really get any suitable jobs coming up. So I had already worked out what would be the stats if I just dead miled it home, and I was happy with what I ended up with for the 3 days. Also, in the meantime, I did win a job for yesterday, for tomorrow morning, and then I won another job for tomorrow morning just before it. So I've got 2 jobs booked in off the CX for tomorrow morning already. I'm not going to work on Friday, so I want to stay reasonably local-ish tomorrow. And I'll end up in Rugby tomorrow about lunchtime, and that should be a reasonably good day. So let me give you my stats over the last 2 days. Before I put up the fuel today, my average fuel price for yesterday was 14.67 pence per mile. And after today's fill up, it's 14.87 pence per mile. My total miles I've driven for the last 2 days, so that was going from sort of Loughborough to Newcastle to Ulverston and down South Wales and back across to High Wycombe and home. The total mileage was 876 miles, 876, and that's an average over the 2 days of 438 miles per day, 438. The total amount of time that I've worked is 23 hours. That'll be 7 3/4 hours today, and 15 hours for 25 minutes for yesterday. The total amount of gross earnings over the 2 days, that was from the one CX job and then the one non-CX job. The total amount was £620, 620, which averages out over the 2 days at £310 each day. My mileage my mileage costs in total were £129.12 over the 2 days, which is an average of £64.56. And finally, my average amount earned per day after fuel over the last 2 days is £245, 245. And that's taking the fuel cost off my gross earnings. So you can see that, I mean, I'm happy with that. For those 2 days' work, I'm happy with that income for that amount of work. And basically, it all was down to the one non-CX job that I got paid at a decent rate with a good shipper. And I'm hoping that I might get another 1 or 2 routes next week from the same person. I'm hoping on Friday I'll get offered the chance to quote on further work, and I'm hoping that 1 or 2 of those will be acceptable for them next week. We shall see. Even if it comes to nothing else, I was happy that I was remembered. So last time I did a job for them was back in early November, maybe even late October. So a good 4 or 5 months later they remembered me, asked me to do a job and paid me a decent rate for it. So even if nothing else comes of it, I'm happy with that. Right, so tomorrow I've got 2 jobs booked in the morning, and then we'll see where it takes me. I want to get back home tomorrow night, and so it should be a reasonably... I'll probably end up doing shorter jobs for minimum prices tomorrow. We shall see how it goes. Right, the only thing from today was I was watching some videos about NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. They're quite interesting. I probably should do more videos about psychology, because I do find it interesting. And what I've learnt about narcissism, I'll try and summarise briefly, because I think it's something that in our lives, whether it be our bosses or our family or our partners, we might come across people, or friends I suppose, we might come across people who are narcissistic. And the outcome of the videos, the outcome that I got from it was really you should avoid those people. There's no telling them that they're in the wrong, but so just keep away from them if you can. And I think that's quite hard to do, but it's probably quite good information. So this is what I remember from the videos, and it wasn't. It's not going to be a. It's not going to be a comprehensive summary of it, but it's just sparked my interest. I thought I'd share it with you guys, because you may have people you know like this, or maybe you recognise it in yourselves. Who knows? I think that's going to be hard. I think by its very nature, people who are narcissistic don't know they're narcissistic. So things I learned were that people narcissistic think they're special, think that they are unique and that they are important in the world, and that it tends to focus more on outward things like status symbols, things like good holidays, money, reputation, strength, power, demonstrating those over other people. They're very much more living on how people perceive them as being an important thing, and how they see themselves as being important, not how they feel about themselves or how other people feel about them. They don't really have empathy for other people. They can't really empathise with another person's feelings. Another thing I found out was that it could be caused to childhood trauma, where it's when the brain is developing repeated traumatic events, or overstimulation of being told you're really good at something or really special, might affect the development of the limbic system, which is where your feelings come from. So you get your conscious brain develops fine, but your emotional brain doesn't develop very well. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I saw in one video, and it does explain a bit about what might cause narcissism. There were different types of narcissism. Malignant narcissism, which is very, very dangerous in terms of people will do anything to bring other people down. There's quiet narcissism, and I think that's about where people would say that you'd experience that by having passive-aggressive comments from them. And then there was another one, which I forgot the name of it, but it was more kind of obvious, more kind of arrogant. Let's call it arrogant narcissism. I'm not sure that's the right term, but you can see very clearly that they talk about themselves a lot, so that they're very self-important, and it's obvious. And of the three, malignant narcissism seems to be the most harmful to people around them. Another thing that came across was the level of gaslighting that someone with narcissism will do. So if you were to call someone out on being a narcissist, they would just deny it and say that you're being aggressive towards them, or you're victimizing them, and they would sort of say, I don't remember these things he was saying, or you see it wrong. And gaslighting was kind of the phrase that's made for NPD people. The other thing I want to say is not everyone that has NPD is a bad person, and that is probably kind of the thing that comes across from what I'm saying. It can be something that who people are living with it, who kind of recognise living with it, and then try and mitigate with it. It's not like you can't just say, I don't realise I've got it, and it's just who I am, and just deal with it. You can say that, but not everyone does. Some people deal with it, accept it, and do things to kind of try and improve themselves or understand other people. So it's not something that everybody is sort of becomes, for want of a better word, an arsehole over. So some people do struggle with dealing with it and recognise it and do their best to deal with it. But it seems like most people with narcissism don't do that by the very nature of the disorder. They don't really see it's a problem. They don't really see what other people see in them. So it's an interesting concept. I don't believe... Well, no, actually, yes, no. I believe I've probably experienced in the past one person that fits that, who was a work colleague, or it was briefly a work colleague, and I would say I felt they bullied me at work, and we didn't get on. And I think looking back on it, maybe there's some element of narcissism in that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and really think about that in more detail. But there definitely fits a bit about that. But other than that, there's not really anyone in my life, family or friends or anyone else, that I would say that applies to. I do know someone second hand that definitely applies to. But I won't say more than that. And yeah, so the other thing that so I've summarised most of the stuff I've got. There's probably other stuff I've forgotten about, but what I was thinking about is, what if you're a narcissist and you've access to, so it must be really bad to be married to or very close to someone who's a narcissist, for the person that's with them, and it must be very, very bad for their mental health and their life. So what they could do is they could try and escape from that, like move away. But what if you can't? What if it's someone that's like a family member, like your father or your mother or your son or your daughter? Then that's hard just to walk away from them. But maybe at the end of the day, that's what you've got to do, is just for your own health, just stay away from these people. And then I thought, wow, what's it going to be like when you've got social media? If you're a narcissist on social media, how's that going to affect people? Because you could then, without knowing it, exert your narcissism on everyone around you. They don't even know you, like with your comments. And I was thinking, oh, maybe part of the YouTube social media environment, maybe it's inhabited by people with NPD, and maybe the comments they're making are about self-aggrandizement, that's the word, rather than actually about what you produce as a content creator. So it made me think, maybe there's at least there in my mind some logical reason why some people might be, again, for want of a better word, arseholes on social media. Maybe they don't realise they're doing it, and because you've got no sort of social clues that they would ignore anyway, that maybe it's just a paradise for them. They go on social media and they can just spout how special they are to everyone who will listen. It's interesting. I think it's interesting, and I might well want to find out more about these sorts of disorders, not just that one, but other ones. Having done that bit of very short amount of research, I feel like I'm better informed, and I feel like I'm better in the know about some people's psychology. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you guys. It's nothing to do with same-day courier work per se, but I have an enormous audience of 200 subscribers, and there's meant to be some of you out there who listen to this video, and of you, there must be some of you who experience narcissistic behaviour directed towards you. So, think of it as a public service announcement. Right. I will leave it at that. Have a great rest of the year if you're an amazing shipper or driver that's professional and fair and polite and friendly and one of the good guys. And if you're a narcissist, I hope you fail at whatever you do and learn the better way of behaving and treating people. Thank you, friends. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.